Hi all, it's Elaine from MRE Studio Designs, and today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to use a stained glass pattern to make a pendant. And I want to do this because I want to show you that you're not limited to just cookie cutters or cabochons, but you can get inspiration from anywhere. So I have this very simple pattern we're going to do today of a stained glass. You're going to need some black clay, and as you can see, this is not new black clay. This is leftover black clay. It already has some mica powders and stuff in it. You're going to need your blades. You're going to need several different kinds of mica powders, a needle tool, your blade, and a paintbrush. So let me get things set up and I will be right back. And we're back. So what I have is my piece of black clay, and it's rolled out on the thickest setting, set on a tile. And the tile, I use a tile because it's easier to turn it if I need to. You can also do it on a piece of plain paper or wax paper, or whatever you want to use, parchment paper. But as long as you can move it around so it's easy to do the pattern. So we're going to put the pattern on top, just like this. And we're going to make sure that it's stuck to the clay pretty well. And what we're going to use is our needle tool. And we are just going to copy over all of the lines. Get my glasses on. So just start anywhere, and you're just going to press down on the line and copy it all the way around. If you need to hold the paper down, you can do that too. So, and you could tell if you've done them because they will have a ridge in them. I don't think I did this one. Okay, so I did that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Okay, all the inside lines are done. So we just want to do the outside lines. And just because this is this shape, it doesn't necessarily have to stay this shape. If you wanted to do it as a circle, you could just adjust it yourself and do it as a circle. You could do it as a square, whatever you want to do. So when you pick it up, this is what you have. Now, those lines are definitely not deep enough for what we want to do, so we're going to go over them again with our needle tool. And you want them fairly deep. going to start doing the inside lines again. You want them pretty deep. You don't want them to go all the way through, but you do want them to stand out. And if you mess it up a little bit, you could just clean it up a bit. But we're going to be putting mica powder over this, and we can fix that a little later. Anything made by hand is not going to be absolutely perfect. We are not machines. We are people. There. So now that you have all of your lines, didn't mean to hit the camera, sorry. Now that you have all of your lines, we can decide what colors we want to use on them. And I have several colors. We are going to use champagne, and these are all chameleon colors from Let's Resin. This is plum. This is galaxy, grape, magenta, blue, mint, and teal. Now, if you go online and you see some of the stained glass patterns, some of them will have them in color as well. And if you wanted to use the same colors, that's fine. Or you can use your own colors. It really doesn't matter. So we're going to start with the champagne. We'll do the magenta with the champagne. So we're just going to take a little bit on our brush, and we're going to choose a spot. I think I want it like this. Okay, so put a little bit on our brush, and we're just going to do it on the piece that we want. And you're going to need a fairly thin brush, which I probably should use a thinner brush than this, which I think I will. Let me change my brush. Let's try this one. So we can get all the way to the end and bring it down. Now, if you get mica powder on a space that you don't want it, I'll show you how to get rid of that too. But you want to put enough on here that it's going to show up well. We have that one. It's got a little bit of pink to it too. And we're going to use magenta. On this one. There we go. It's working out pretty well. Now I think we're going to use the teal and the mint. And this is a very simple pattern. You can make them as simple or as complicated as you like. You can make your own patterns. And of course, as I showed in my last tutorial, the the mica powders show up much better on black than they do on white. But that doesn't mean you can't use white. It just means you have to pick your colors that will actually show up. Now this is the teal. And it doesn't take much mica powder to do this. Now I was going to show you how to get rid of mica powder that's someplace that you don't want it to be. So to get rid of it, you just need some cellophane tape, little piece. Sorry, didn't mean to bump the camera. And just place it where the mica powder is that you don't want. And it comes right off. Just like that. Just like that. Press it down and it comes off. So if you ever have mica powder where you don't want it, you can always use tape to get rid of it. So our next colors are going to be the blue and the grape. And this one is the blue. And you're not limited to just using mica powders. You can use paint, pastels if you want to. If it was like on a white, if you wanted to do a white one, I would suggest using the pastels. You can use glitter. You can use whatever medium you like. Just because I'm using chameleon powders, you don't have to. And this is the grape. And then we have plum. Now, I'm not sure that this is going to be bright enough for me. So after I put the mica powder on and I bake it, if I still think it needs a little something, I might put glitter paint over it or a metallic paint over it. I don't know yet. This is the Galaxy. Okay, so I'm going to continue with the colors again because I've used all my colors. So I'm going to continue doing this and I will be right back. And so I finished putting the colors on there. Now, because we were using mica powders, it does get a little out of hand sometimes. And I do want the lines to be showing as black. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back over them again. And as you can see, as you go back over them and it goes down, you can actually see the black more. And it defines the colors a little better too. I think we're done. Yes. Okay, so this is our pattern. We're going to cut it out now with our blade as close as we can. And we are going to put a backing on this. Now, as you can see, I have this very plain and very flat as far as the colors go. If you wanted to, you could maybe put some texture on here with your ball tool or your needle. I think I'm just going to leave it plain though. I might put something on it afterwards. So we're going to put this in the oven at the recommended temperature of 275 for 30 minutes, and then we will come back and see what else we want to do to it, if anything. So I will be back. Okay, so here is the piece out of the oven, and you can see it's very shiny. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put a backing on it and a bail on it, bake it again, and then we will put some resin on it. So let's get our backing first. I have a piece of scrap black clay that has a lot of glitter and everything in it. So I'm going to use that because I thought it would look pretty good. So we're going to put this right on here. And we're going to cut it, but we're going to leave ourselves a little bit of a lip so that we can move it up around the edges. never try to throw out any old clay that has glitter in it or different colors in it, because I can always use it for something. I may not know what at the time, but something. So I'm going to use a pinch bale, so I don't need to put a bale under the clay. I'm going to lift that, clean that off. And of course we're going to put some Bacon Bond on this to make sure that it sticks well. You don't need a whole lot. Okay, we're just going to spread that around. Some people use a brush for this, but I find that my fingers work just as well. And it cleans off pretty well. I was just joking, saying that people who use polymer clay probably have the most disinfected desks ever, since we're always using either baby wipes on them or alcohol on them to get the clay off. Very well disinfected. So we're going to put this back on here. And we're just going to make sure that there's no bubbles on the back. We don't like bubbles. And bring this up this way. Now, just because the lines on this are black, they don't have to stay black. If you wanted to, you could take little tiny strings of clay, any color you want, gold, silver, purple, would probably be easiest through an extruder with a real tiny holes in it, and just follow those along. Of course, you'd have to put a little bit of Bacon Bond on there, but you can make it any color you want. So many things you could do. It's just up to you, whatever you feel like doing. There is no wrong or right way. There's just different ways. And I've always been a great advocate of choices. You always have choices in everything you want to do. Okay, so we're going to take our craft knife and we're just going to go across and cut the excess off. There's something there. Let's get rid of that. Here we go. And that's the nice thing about clay. If you start making something and you really hate it, and believe me, I've been there, just take it apart and do something else. There are times when I sit here and go, oh, I think that'll be such a cool idea. And then once I start doing it, it doesn't work. But if you don't try, you won't know. Okay, so we're just going to clean that off. And we're just going to blend in the edges a little bit so they don't look so rough. I retired a couple years ago and found that this is something I really enjoy doing. Keeps me busy, makes me happy. What else is there, right? Got a little bit more of that off. Okay, let's clean that off. And we're going to burnish the back a little bit. One more time. And as always, I am going to add one of my little logos on the back. We need a little bacon bond. Now, how do I want this? I think I'm going to do it that way, so we're going to put this right here. Okay. You see a little something there that needs to be fixed. There we go. All right, so this is going to go back in the oven for a full 30 minutes and at 275, and we will be back. So here is our finished piece, completely resined, nice and bright. Okay. Okay, so before I leave, I wanted to show you a few other examples of other projects I've done using the same technique. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you will share, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.